Okay, folks.
Podcast number 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we're the two pushy dames, Kathy
Yes.
and Leanne,
twopushydames.com.
coming through your headphones.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're enjoying these. Otherwise, there are other things you can do with your time.
Sorry, not sorry. That's another
you
whole
go.
podcast, right? So today we're talking about messy clothes.
Messy clothes, and we're not talking about like teenagers with droopy pants. We're talking about young children who might get paint or food, or that's food, I can't speak correctly.
Yeah.
Dirt on their clothes because they've been actively engaged in play and creativity.
Yeah, well, we say if a child does have some messy clothes, that's a good sign. That means that they're doing what they should be doing at their age. It means that they're getting messy, they're being inquisitive, they're exploring paint and dirt and mud and all that good stuff. And so messy clothes can be a good thing, but we do want to talk about being careful with messy clothes.
Yeah, you have to really, we always focus on things for teachers, but parents are really important in this. You're partners in this. It's important for parents and teachers to work together for what's best for the child. So if a parent just spent, $30 on some new jeans and their child has their knees, filled with grass stains or something, it's more likely the bottom of their arm, the sleeve that gets all painty. That's a problem, and it's going to end up being difficult for you to have a relationship, or they won't want their child to paint, or they won't want their child to go outside because they don't want to have to purchase new clothes and they can't get the paint out.
Yeah. So, one thing that you want to think about is letting parents know right from the beginning your child's going to get messy here at school. Please send them with play clothes and talk about play clothes and what that means. It means clothes that are going to get dirty and messy and that kind of stuff. But also we do need to recognize the parents' concerns and some of the ways that we want to give you some ideas on some ways that you can keep clothes clean or help keep clothes from getting too messy and dirty.
And one more thing too, as Leanne was speaking, culturally many parents, and it might be parents who you wouldn't expect, it's very, very important and prideful for them to make sure their child looks a certain way when they leave their home. Mm-hmm. And I've had families in my programs over the years who had very little money, and they maybe even lived in a shelter, and their child had beautiful name brand expensive clothes. Mm-hmm. And I think it's easy sometimes to cast judgment on that and say, what is wrong? Why would they spend $40 on that shirt when they live in a shelter? Well, first of all, you don't know who spent that money.
Right.
It could have been a birthday gift. It could have been a hand-me-down. It could have been anything.
Could have came from a consignment store.
Exactly, or the Goodwill.
Right.
So it's not for us to judge that, but it is for us to respect families and parents. Lots of families want their child to get dressed up. Lots of children want to get dressed up.
Right.
The tutu brigade, these little kids wearing tutus and party shoes all the time. And that's another challenge because it's hard to get out of the house in the morning when you're trying to get out to go to work and you have a child.
Yeah.
Exactly. So sometimes you could just have play clothes at school, and a child can turn on.
Yeah.
Get into their play clothes.
Some people do believe that you need to send your child to school looking respectful and not have play clothes on because they want them to be respectful that they're at school and they should dress nicely at school. So that's part of the culture thing too. So so try not to judge, but also be respectful of the family and the clothing. So some of the ideas to keep the clothes clean are you can get shirts from, say, Salvation Army, so, button-down shirts, and you can cut the sleeves. Some people don't cut the sleeves, and the kids are dragging the sleeves all over the place, and that makes a bigger mess. So just cut the sleeves on those shirts so that it comes right up to children's, wrists, and then they can put those on. They can put T-shirts on.
And have them put it on backwards so that the buttons, if it's a button-down shirt, the buttons are in the back. And it's a great fine motor and social activity for one of their friends to help them button their smock. And they only have to button one button to keep it on. So that's a great idea. Or T-shirts, Leanne was just going to say, right?
A T-shirt or even a long sleeve T-shirt that you can cut the sleeve. But think about cutting the sleeve because I've seen so many kids dragging those sleeves around. It just makes a bigger mess, to be quite honest.
And then the other thing, I don't know if any of you are like tennis pros, but those sports wristbands that people wear, I don't know where you can even buy those, to tell you the truth. But I know you can go to the dollar store and get really thick scrunchies, like elastic band scrunchies.
Yep.
Teach the children to put it on over their hands and put it up, push their own sleeves up, and that will hold their sleeve up. Because I know all you teachers tell them, push your sleeves up, but then the sleeves fall down. So either some of those wristbands, or you could cut the tops off of tight socks and use a pair of socks to create several little wristband things that you push up to hold your sleeves up. I'm sorry I'm not giving you a good picture of that. Can you explain it better than
No, I think you gave a great picture
Really?
of that.
Oh, good.
We can put in the you can put them right in the art area, and they know that those are the sleeve, protector kind of things, and they just throw them right up on. So you put it on your wrist, then you push it up with your sleeve, and it holds your sleeve up. I think it's
great. And if
great.
you can't do it yourself, one of your friends can help you do that. It shouldn't be a burden on the teacher, as long as they're older than toddler age. They should be able to do that stuff themselves.
And then the tablecloth idea.
Yeah, think about the party store, you have to cover banquet tables, and you get that roll of thin, plasticky, kind of bright red, yellow, green, whatever, party tablecloths.
Party,
sorry. Yeah, we're from Boston. Party tablecloths.
Party.
That even feels weird to say. You can cut a bunch of simple little sleeveless smocks out of those. You don't have to spend a lot of money to buy them at the Learning Tree store or the Learning Supply store.
Yeah.
You can make them yourselves.
Sometimes the dollar store also sells little smocks
They do.
kid
That's
friendly.
a good thing to get at the dollar store.
So if you catch that, grab some.
Or get some shower curtain liners and cut those, and all you have to do is kind of trace it to look like a little poncho with a place for their head, and their arms come out, but make sure they have those little arm protectors. And the other thing, obviously, with food, if children need a bib or children need to be wiped up so that food doesn't get all over their clothes, we love mud. We want kids to splash in the mud, but you want to be mindful of the clothing that they have on, and whether you need to ask for some donations of boots, rain boots, things like that.
Yeah, so let parents know what your policy is, and let them know that your philosophy is that children will get messy and dirty, so that they're aware right from the beginning. So that's important. But then also, be cautious and be aware that you want to make sure that you help children stay as clean as they can, and that helps them to understand. I don't want to get paint on my sleeve. I'm going to do this, so that it's a life skill for them too, trying to keep themselves clean.
And you can put a few drops of dishwashing liquid into, like Dawn or one of those, into the paint itself. You can buy washable paint. I know it's not really washable, even though
we
it
all
says
know
it is.
It says it.
Washable markers also are very difficult to get off. So just because it says it's washable, Mr. Crayola is not in your classroom.
Right.
And if he was, he'd probably say, hey, they're not really washable. So, be thoughtful about that.
Yeah.
But we want kids to be messy, so think about how you can explain the importance of messy play and creative exploration to parents, so that it's a good value to them if a shirt does get a little paint spill on it once in a while.
I love the display when someone posts a picture of kids' clothing, and they show all the different, dirt and mud and grass stains, and it says, your child was exploring the grass and outdoors nature when this stain happened. Your child did this when this happened. So having some sort of a display is nice too, of a piece of clothing, and saying when your child's getting messy, they're learning.
I'm really glad you said that, because I have been in a program where they have that right on the front door, and it's in kind of like a display box, almost like a frame, a poster frame kind of thing. And it's an old t-shirt with the stains and beautifully printed and documented information. So it's crystal clear. This is what we do here, and this is why it's important. So that's a great strategy to use.
Yeah, so let parents know your philosophy, let them know messy is good, and just try and be cautious and aware that, you want to help the parent out by making sure that it's not too messy, and help the child learn a skill of keeping themselves somewhat clean. Yeah. All right.
There you go. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap, folks.
I got baby just as pretty as can be. You think that she's an angel, but there's more than you can